Good morning, bright stars of retail. Do you like the glasses? Yeah, I thought you would. Hey, it's Bob Phibbs, the retail doc, and you've joined me on Sunday, March the 6th, 2022. Spring is right around the corner. And please do me a favor and type in where you're joining me from today, because it's always interesting to see our worldwide audience, not just in the US. And wherever you are in the world today, just remember that it's about making someone else's day before they're going to make yours. And I have done retail sales training and motivational speaking and an awful lot of things around the brand of the retail doctor. And it all comes down to working with people who understand that it's not easy and we're going to make mistakes and we got to try again. And when you stop wanting to get back in the game again, I think you become a faded brand, and I think people feel it and they kind of smell it too, right? It's kind of like that employee who gives you notice and you realize, well, they kind of gave up, 6 weeks earlier. The brain already had decided, the body didn't. Well, we don't want that for you. So thanks for joining me today. I've got a couple things to share with you this morning. Hey, and do me a favor, and again, type in where you're joining me from. We got John. Hey, John, live this morning. Awesome. Michelle, all the way from Ireland. I love that. Dave and Sherry from Dayton, Ohio. Richard from England. Have a deep clean day. Yeah, this is probably a great day for it in March. So I just wanted to share with you, I've talked about this probably before, but I thought today I might actually be able to do it, and hopefully all of the algorithms won't kick me off for trying it. But when I go to speak, I play a certain song every single time I go to speak. And that's, hundreds, if not thousands of times since I first started. And it's a song by John Denver. And the reason why I always play it is I remember sitting in Universal Amphitheater. I'm a young guy of, I don't know, 16, not knowing what I want to do with my life. And I go to this concert, and he had some big hits then, but I didn't really know much about him. And he starts off his concert with a full orchestra, and he has 4 big video screens behind him, and it's called Welcome to My Morning. And so I'm going to see if I can play just a smidgen of it. And this isn't a John Denver concert. Trust me, I will get to sales and how it all relates, but I'm trying to keep you involved. So John sings this song, and it was amazing. And I never had a full orchestra in front of me. And I said, my gosh, that's what I want to do with my life. I mean, it's that game changing. So we'll take our attention off of John and come back to me. All right, good. So I listen to that every time because it's that feeling of hope. And I remember connecting with, like, yes, I want to be a performer. Yes. And I had decided I wanted to be a conductor, and that didn't work out. That's a whole nother story. But that feeling always stayed with me. So go forward with me this last December. I'm doing my keynote. I did a keynote in Dubai. I'm coming home, and I just reached out to the conductor and arranger of that piece, Welcome by Morning, Lee Holdridge. He'd worked for Pavarotti and some other, Neil Diamond's other ones in the time. And I sent him an email, and I just said, and I told him the story of how important it was to me and all I liked about him. And he wrote back while I was on the plane, like, wow, that's amazing. And I said to him in specific about Farewell to My Morning, I said, that orchestration really got to me. Any chance you'd be willing to share it with me? Well, wouldn't you know, he actually sent it to me. And the reason I wanted to see it is because the orchestration, I was a conductor, if someone had shown me, like, if you just go through and use your ears and then compare it to the score, you'll learn orchestrations really well. And I said, I've always been interested in the orchestration because that song goes on for about 4 minutes and how it keeps changing. And the best songs do this. And he shared it with me. And I just think that was such a really amazing thing to do, to share. But the key to all of it, why it got me and why I'm telling you today, is it kept me engaged in the song. The best songs, the best movies, operas, they keep you engaged. And so how does this fit into growing my retail sales, Bob? Well, I'll tell you. I'm glad you asked. Come closer. All right. So many of us get the idea. It's like a melody, like, oh, somebody said, I'm looking for, I don't know, star glasses. And we pounce on it instantly. Oh, we got star glasses. Let's go over here. I have 500 pair of star glasses. They come in red and green and pink, and they get it. just take a step back because that's one note. Where are you going to go from there? Instead of just because you saw a need doesn't mean you jump right into all the features and benefits. And I see this time and time again because people don't train the soft skills of how to engage somebody. You need to step back from that. Why does somebody want a pair of glasses like this? It doesn't matter. They asked. Yeah, but you know what? If they did that online, they would have bought them. Why did they come into your store today? If you're curious about that, then life becomes easier because now you have a whole arsenal of things to talk about. You get to build rapport with them, show them the store, understand why they want the star glasses, and more importantly, build a sale that's built on more than just star glasses. But I see so many retailers blowing it right now. And hey, news flash for you. News flash. I don't know. Can I do news flash? News flash. The buying frenzy is gone. We have a huge war over in the Ukraine and Russia. No one knows what it's going to do to gas prices, to shopper intent, to luxury, to travel. There's a million parameters. But what we've been enjoying the last roughly year, 18 months for a lot of you is this unbridled demand where people are willing to spend anything to just get it and wait. That's going to wane in the next few months. And that's, if it hasn't already, for your brand. And so if you understand that you're going to have to get more out of everyone that walks in the door, you've got to get out of the pounce and you've got to start thinking, how do I orchestrate a great sale? You know, it's that little thing that, notice, half the orchestra wasn't even playing at this one part because they weren't needed. That color, we didn't want to have it all out there. We wanted to be able to move them through. And so in any retail sale, you've got to move through that awareness section where they come in, they've decided they want something. They don't know what it is necessarily. Maybe it's star glasses, but maybe they want heart or something else. They come into your store to discover. That's the important thing. They come in with the idea to buy and discover, and then you have to build awareness as they go through that process before you ever get into the features and benefits and closing the sale. And again, if all you can sell me is what I asked for, you're probably going to be in a world of hurt because those sales are pretty limited. You know, the smart retailers, I don't care. Retail is a game of being brilliant on the basics. People say, oh, the fundamentals don't matter anymore. Yes, they do. Did someone buy from you? That's called conversion rate. How many people walked in there and bought from you? How many people bought more than they thought? So number of items in the bag, that's really what counts because that's what your employees directly affect. If all you have is a bunch of people clerking, your average sale is one item or 1.1. The goal is always to get it up to 2. And that sounds easier than you may think. And then how much did each employee sell per hour? If they're caught up in tasks, which there's an awful lot of people out here telling you that, oh, we have task management, we have these new systems to talk to our employees. If all it is having them do tasks, well, then you've totally squandered the exact thing that makes you you, which is the brick and mortar discovery. In fact, I was looking online today at Target's recent report, earnings report, and they talked about something like 18.9% of their sales started digitally. That means 82%, 81 point something started in store. Don't kid yourself. The digital natives will tell you it's all online. Look, buying online is, if I want that one thing, I will buy that one thing online because that's all I need. But the danger is when I walk into a store and you think all I really want is this, you are going to leave a lot of money on the table. And you know who's going to take it? A competitor. And then you're going to cry the blues to me like, oh, doggone it, it's that darn Amazon. Look, you lost more sales from untrained employees than you will ever lose from Amazon. So I'm going to check in and see what you've got here on your questions to me. I am live. I wanted to do the first half, about 10 minutes of me talking to you. Does that agree with you? Give me some thumbs up. If it makes you mad, I'm perfectly fine with mad. I'm not here to be your best buddy because your best buddy is telling you, oh, poor you, it's tough to be you. Oh, why do you work in retail? And your best buddies will encourage you to say, well, why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you going out and doing X, Y, and Z? All right. So let's see what you have to say. If you have a question, though, type it in now because I'm live. I am live right now. And if you're watching this on the replay, I will answer it on the replay. Hey, good morning, Chelly. Jennifer, glad you're here. Nadine from Panama City. That's great. Thank you so much. Donna from Alabama. Kathy, doom scrolling or the doc? You won out. Big love from Buffalo. All right, I have to share that, Kathy. That's just too funny. Yeah, it certainly feels like that the last 10 days, right? And here's the thing, you know what? It's not going to get easier. Sorry, pandemic's over, something new to worry about. The media and all of it thrives on, and I don't mean left or right, it thrives on keeping you fearful. So if you want to keep doom scrolling, great, but you're just going to find yourself depressed and not enjoying your life. So find people who are interesting, find people who are having a good time, find people who share. We can find the way through this and figure out that, you know what, the score is empty until you decide to write it. Ooh, I like that. I might have to use that somewhere. All right, so let's keep going. Hey, Linda, good morning. David from Portland checking in. That's early there. All right. Hey, David, it was a good time. That's exactly right. David, always upselling and adding on. Excellent. Lewis, glad you're here this morning. I don't see any questions. What am I supposed to say if you're not going to ask me any questions? I tell you what, I will, as they say, I will. Good morning from Egypt, Mohammed. Glad you're here. Tracy, that's a hard one for me to say, from Minneapolis. You know, I did a little poll on Facebook yesterday, and I just said, return policies, lenient or strict? And I was shocked at how many people are like, you buy it, I'm not giving your money back. You buy it, you don't bring it back. I'm gonna, and then they kind of had all these, stipulations. And you know what? The best ones just said, I give them their money back. It's not worth it. In the end of the day, you're gonna get a charge back, and then you're gonna go back and forth. Well, they wore it. Well, they didn't. And you know what? Amazon wins in that battle because they'll take anything back, pretty much any time. Now, if you have designer items like a Nordstrom or Saks, they've had to modify theirs and say, to come for this to be returned, the tags have to be attached. And now they put these huge tags that are very conspicuous. You'd not be able to tuck them in somewhere because they had a lot of people using them as a closet. I don't think that's probably going to be you. And I think most people, when they say they want their money back, usually if you just take a step back again, right? And you say, oh, what didn't work? You can usually find something. And if it is giving them money back, then just do it. Because one woman told the whole story about how someone had got a wedding dress and she went to the wedding and like the beads started falling off in the middle of the ceremony and she wanted her money back. And the person's like, absolutely no, you bought it. Forget it. Wasn't our fault. And the woman, ended up having pictures taken and the whole story. I don't think that's going to happen most of the time, but come closer. It's up to you. There's no reason to get into that mode. I know it feels like it at mine, but if it feels like a battle, you just got to de-escalate and pull back and say, hey, it's not that big a deal. And for you to get that bogged down and worried about it is going to affect everything else you do that day. So just let it go, move along. All right. So I finally got a few questions here. Laura, do you think having a gift registry works for small businesses still? Well, Laura, I would say I think anytime you can get someone to give you a list of what they like in your store and put it somewhere where they can go through and access it or tell their friends to buy it, I think that's always good. I think there's a lot of digital aids that you've got to do that. And I'm sure some of my followers here can put that in. But make no mistake, it's always a good idea because they come to your store. So I don't know why it wouldn't work. It just comes down to execution, right? And more importantly, do you have enough items that someone would really sign that up, or would they just put it on Amazon? In fact, maybe that's an idea. Amazon's wish lists are public. You could ask people if you have Amazon wish lists, see if they match ours, and give us the business. That might be an interesting take on it. I hope that helps. What is this? Joseph, what are your thoughts on streaming radio advertising? I wouldn't be one to be jumping into that, Joseph, only because you're basically hoping that somebody who is listening to Pandora is going to remember that they heard your brand. And I think it has to be repeated enough to get it. But you know what? I'd say try it, but that's a long play. If you're going to do it, that's a 6-month buy if you're really trying to find out if it works. So let me know. I think most of us put money in things that take our time away. We think, oh, that's easy, right? Somebody comes in from the local newspaper. Hey, if you give me $5,000, I'll write the ad and I'll put it online and I'll do it here and here. And it's like, great. I don't have to do it. I've done that myself. I do it for you, marketing. Yes. But is that really where your customers are? And would it be better to take that money and instead recruit better employees or have more employees or obviously use Sales RX, my online retail sales training program? We've gotten some amazing reviews lately. And you can just go to, well, just do a Google search for Sales RX and you'll see the Google listing. And one guy, David, just said yesterday, I wish I'd found this earlier in my career. Do you know how many times we hear people say that? People say, "I've been following you for years and years," and then they buy Sales RX. They're like, "Why didn't I do it earlier?" That's a great question. That might be a subject for something down the way. Why haven't you? Because most of us don't value training, or we think it's, we don't need training, or we'll lose employees by training. But I'm here to tell you, we doubled our volume in the last year. Now that's contradictory. You would think, oh, people are coming out of the pandemic. They wouldn't. Most people realized if I made it through the pandemic, I need to up my game because I figured out logistics. But it's about getting more from those people that walk in the door and not just saying, "Oh, do you have the star glasses?" I'm trying to keep with that motive thing. So there you go. Emmanuel says, how do I monitor my retail store and keep my job as a health practitioner? For example, how do I regulate pilfering and convenience where I have to be away for several hours a day? Well, you hire people and you go through and make sure that those people do it. There is no easy answer. I won't kid you. If you're in a convenience store, that's your category. Everything that we're seeing is about automation, and the Amazon Go walk out technology is huge because quite simply it is much more cost efficient to be able to have a store that runs itself in that mode, which is an in and out kind of thing, than to worry about people. And that's where we're going to go in fast food as well. So as much as people are saying, oh, they're going to unionize and raise minimum wage, don't kid yourself, everyone's going to be looking for automation because nobody wants to work those jobs. They would much rather elevate. I think we can elevate the whole retail space by going through and saying, all right, how do we make retail professionals who earn 75, 85, 100,000 and able to grow our sales? That's where we're going, folks. That's the people that I'm working with. If you want to be one of those people, then I encourage you to be looking at how do I become more human in an increasingly less human area. And by the way, if you're just take a step back, I was seeing somebody talking about Walmart's now getting into, the fitting mirrors and all of that and apps. No sale is complete until the physical item is on the physical body. So to me, those are great distractions, but it still comes down to, maybe she can buy it in the store that way or online, but until it's put on, it doesn't matter. Yet, if you had a store and used your fitting room the right way, you'd end up being able to close 70% more sales because people who try them on in the store tend to buy them. And then you can add on and do everything that you need to do. So if you're in apparel, again, the game is the number of items going out the door. It's not that one piece they come asking for. Uh, Oh, there you go. Look at that. So Linda says the shopper I wish everybody had a gift register, especially for children. Great ideas. Toy stores, all of that. But that's hard. I'd rather do a Facebook video. Well, Facebook video are fine, but a lot of times we go through and people do Facebook videos and then we don't really promote them and we don't really go through and have a place to go. Make no mistake. Why do you think I do Facebook videos? Because A, I provide value to you. That's number one. Always about the customer, always about the viewer. Am I going to help you be a better retailer? That's the mark I want to be. I've already told you a story to try to get you engaged in the idea of, oh, wow, it's different than I thought it was, and then provide it. But make no mistake, I'm here to sell you either me as a motivational speaker who speaks about hope, not, oh, every customer's a guest and we value every customer. What does that mean? I give you the steps: how to engage a stranger, become a trusted advisor, and yes, sell the merchandise and more of it from your brick and mortar store. If that sounds appealing to you, then I'm the guy you should be listening to. If that doesn't, then you're probably not my customer. So always coming back to where do we go through and spend our time is what we teach our crew. So if you're always in the back room and you're doing books and customers annoyance, guess what? That's exactly what's going to come back to your customers. So there you go. So, John, we sell premium items with a good POS. The few returns we do are readily accepted by customer store credit. That's one way to do it, John. Again, I'm not going to tell you what does and doesn't work. I'm just saying that if it was me and I didn't have anything and you give me a store credit, that's fine, but you'll probably still endure a chargeback. So I think there's a lot of degrees in all of that, right? So, Vera, okay, so now we're having a debate about about returns. I'm not going to get into a debate about that. But in any event, oh, that's good. That's a new one there, Vera. Thanks. They don't know your business when they offer to market your business. I end up paying and doing most of the work. That's it, Vera. Or you hire someone. I use Upwork for like uh, things to do with design. Now, I learned in design and sort of learned Photoshop. And yeah, I can sit down and do that, but you have to always look at what's the amount of time devoting in this. If it's a couple minutes, that's fine, but I don't have time to learn it. It's like I didn't have time to learn how to code my site, which is why I hire people to code the site and do things. I don't want to get into that. And I'm always a big believer of call the help desk and you figure it out. I don't want to spend extra time to learn your system. Fair enough. All right. Melanie's asking me, do you recommend sending an email campaign to non-openers? I'm not sure who that is. Uh, Here's the thing about email, and this is probably a bigger idea, Melanie, is, I use HubSpot. I think I've told you all that. HubSpot's great. They actually have a free CRM. So most of you could actually go into HubSpot, get a lot of tools that support you with zero cost. And one of the ways is monitoring opens and clicks. But here's the thing. Um, Apple's privacy has definitely made a difference in being able to just track opens. And opens don't matter to me. The thing that I always do, in fact, tonight, I've got a killer blog that's going to be in there about my shopping trip in the downtown Los Angeles with Tony Drockton, head cheerleader at Hammett Handbags. I hope you'll watch it. But the goal for that newsletter is you click and go to the blog. Make no mistake, I don't really want you to read the newsletter. I want to get enough to get you to go like, oh, that's interesting. I'll go over there, or I'll have a 5-star review from Sales RX. You'll go over there and watch that. Or there's a video about why you don't train on the sales floor. Oh, there's another one. But the goal is to have something so remarkable they want to click to it. So move it from opens to clicks. And I know what they're saying is they're afraid you're going to be penalized as gray mail, but make sure it's something really great. And simple subject lines can work much better than something complex. But here's the key to getting them opened: get their first name into it. So, Jane, here's 5 tips how to spring clean. Good morning, Tommy. Whatever, anything kind of a personalization adds to those opens, but the goal isn't opens as much as clicks. So I hope that helps. Hallie. Oh, thanks so much. I don't think that's Haley. I think that's Hallie, but there you go. All right. David, we started listening to you during the housing market crash, and we're still learning from you in Sales RX. It's quite probably the best thing we've ever done for our business health. Well, there you have it from David himself in Ohio. So, and he knows everything. So there you go. By the way, if you like what I'm saying, give me a thumbs up, type in yes. Give me one thing you gotten out of today. We've been on live for 20 minutes. A lot of you staying through. So type in what's one thing you got in it. John says any Facebook video engaging post is of mineral value unless boosted and posted. That's very true because your average followers seeing you is about 1%. So reason you do Facebook Lives, if you always consider its value, not we have these sales. These are on sale for 20 cents off. And I also have this thing for $3. And we just got this new widget in. It's like, who wants to watch that? Think of your customer. Know your customer. If I was a home store, like a Ace Hardware or something, what's the number one thing I'm thinking in March now in let's say upstate New York where I live? Oh, well, probably. So snow is melting. All right. So they probably don't need the ice stuff. What is it? Oh, gutters might be a thing. So maybe I do a 5 steps to get ready for the spring rains in your house. That might be interesting. And it doesn't have to be a lot. Take your phone out and just do it. Talk about the right safety with the ladder and making sure that, all these different things, but that would be a value. And then you say, and for other tips or to get this, gutter cleaner or step, come in and see me. I'm John, and your address at the crossroads, never at the address, 3285 North Main. Like, where the hell is that? We're just down the way from the mall on the left by Starbucks. Okay, I know where that is. I feel smart. I heard that. So now I made that connection. And that's what we teach in Sales RX. It's about firing synapses so people go, oh, I know that. And they connect it to other learning. Because just like in a sale, I'm going to keep bringing this back. Just like in a sale in music, where you've got to find that other note, you've got to make those connections to keep them going through the sale. Well, it's the same thing in your Facebook videos, and then you can promote it. But I wait until Facebook says, "Hey, this is pretty engaging. You might want to promote it." Don't go through and just start throwing money at it. But you could start with $5, right, for 3 days and see what that buys you. All right. Oh, aren't you sweet, Terry? Thank you so much. Well, I try to do it always the first Sunday now of the month, but I'm speaking more, I'm traveling more, and knowing that you guys are here, that makes a big difference for me. David, my wife heard your endorsement. That's good. All right, and there's Sherry. Oh, good, good, good. Steve, Stu from Maine. All right, that's exactly it. Well, you spent 20 minutes with me, and I hope that it was worth your time. Again, we are doing the hard work, which is how do I make somebody else's day before they're going to make mine? And I appreciate your question. I appreciate your follows. And also, guess what? I appreciate your shares. And if you're ready to stop giving excuses for why you can't or won't or something else, then I hope you'll consider looking at Sales RX and take the free trial. But more importantly, just commit to say in 6 months, I want to make 10% more money. If I could do that, what would be the easy way? Well, you know what? That's what we sell. So I'm Bob Phibbs, the retail doc. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.